And I also want to start by thanking Stop the War for putting on tonight's event. This is not the first in this series of events. I've spoken at a huge number of them up and down the country, actually, and I think they are really, really important events, and it's really important that Stop the War has taken a lead on this. And I would also say, from PSC's point of view, I think the coalition that has been set up since the war on Gaza started with Stop the War, with Friends of Al-Aqsa and others, has been a very powerful coalition that has led huge marches and has worked really, really well collectively for justice for the Palestinian people. And I think more of collective working is what we need, because this is not a fight that's going to go away. So for 17 months, as I'm sure you are all aware, we have marched calling for a permanent ceasefire and for our government to stop arming Israel. We've now had 25 national demonstrations with thousands of people on the street. At its highest point, close to 1 million people, but regularly hundreds of thousands of people on the street in London, but actually actions up and down the country. So when there aren't national marches, we have members from across the coalition taking actions in cities up and down the country. And all of those actions and all of those marches are calling for peace and for justice. Throughout that time, our political opponents have opposed a ceasefire, tried many times and failed to demonise our marches, called us hate marches, and continued to support Israel's genocide. And when a ceasefire was called, they wanted to distract from their shame by silencing our movement and suppressing our right to protest. And Alex referred to it earlier. There was a huge assault on the movement on the 18th of January. Chris Ninan very violently arrested, and subsequently to that, Ben Jamal, our director, arrested, both facing charges now, but many others arrested and still facing charges or awaiting outcomes of interviews, which we have to keep speaking out about and defending those people's rights to peaceful protest. As I said at the start, our demands have always been clear: a permanent ceasefire, and for our government to end arms to Israel, all arms sales to Israel. From the start, there have been attempts to silence us, though. Obviously, it escalated in January, but right from the start, there have been attempts to stop our protests and to demonise us as hate marches. They've said we can't be near synagogues because it is not safe for Jewish people, yet we have a huge Jewish bloc on every single march. So it's just absolute nonsense. There's no evidence anywhere that there has ever been any issue around our marches. They say we're violent, yet there are more arrests at a football match than there are on our demonstrations, with hundreds of thousands of people on them. We have the fundamental right to protest in this country, to ensure our voices are heard and to speak out against injustices. And what we have witnessed over the last 17 months in Gaza has to be some of the worst atrocities many of us have witnessed in our lives. We are told that we are causing disruption. Well, as I keep saying, protest is meant to be noisy and it is meant to cause disruption. That is the whole point of protest, and we will continue to do that. We stand in a long history of struggle, from the protest against apartheid in South Africa, the war in Iraq, and the suffragettes fighting for women's rights. Our society is better for the protests that have come before us. Those before us fought for these rights, and we have to fight to keep them. Let's be clear as well. If they stop us protesting for Palestine, it won't stop there. They will stop us protesting on many other issues that are coming up. Disabled people will be stopped from protesting. Others will be stopped from protesting. They have already targeted climate change activists, and they will come for our movement to silence our voices. Over the past couple of weeks, Israel has sunk to new depths of brutality for the Palestinian people, with its carpet bombing wiping out entire families as they slept. It has torn up the ceasefire agreement in front of the world. It's been emboldened by the election of Trump and other Western leaders, including ours here. In just 4 days, it killed over 600 Palestinians, including at least 200 children. Defence for Children International said that day that was one of the deadliest days for children ever recorded in the Gaza Strip. And when I think about what has happened over the past 17 months, because this has been a war on women and children, it is quite shocking that just in the past couple of weeks, there has been the deadliest day for children, and our government has said nothing about that. The renewed bombing comes 3 weeks after Israel imposed a complete blockade on the Gaza Strip, denying the entry of all food, water, fuel and medical supplies. And if you look at what is happening across the West Bank, it is horrific. Palestinians are seeing their homes destroyed, their land taken, facing more and more blockades, an escalation of land grabs and ethnic cleansing. Faced with these fresh atrocities, we need to escalate our campaigning to build our solidarity movement and also support for the Boycott, Divestment and Sanctions campaign, which is a call from Palestinian civil society. Shamefully, throughout the war in Gaza, our government has continued to supply arms, continued to support the genocide, whilst here in the UK, they've refused to scrap the two-child benefit limit, which the Child Poverty Action Group argues is the biggest driver of rising child poverty here in the UK, scrapped the winter fuel payments, and now are targeting disabled people and trying to remove personal independence payments. It's an absolute disgrace that a Labour government is taking from those who need it the most, whilst propping up the rich and investing in more arms. Our governments, and not just this government, every government, as far as I can see, always seems to be able to find the money for war, but can never find the money for welfare. We will never be distracted from our work in solidarity with the Palestinian people and their struggle. As the bombs rain down on Gaza, our political leaders remain silent and continue to arm Israel. We, the people, would not be silenced. Let's keep speaking out, keep marching until we finally get freedom and justice for the Palestinian people from the river to the sea.